Okay, well, with the COVID things that kind of put a halt to some of our programs, we had to do some readjusting with a few of our items. So some of the things that we did was through our regular everyday programs, we went virtual. So basically we transposed all of our different services, whether if it was worship, we opened up with using Skype and then Teams. Then we went to our adult programs with the Bible study and women's and men's ministry. We just try to figure out ways that we could adapt our programs that we would do in our building and just transposing it to while we're online. So we just had to get really creative with the programs we had. And then our youth stuff, do you want to talk about that?
We even had to do so much as adapt our Boys and Girls Club programs, which we run, which is was very interesting because it's really hard to teach them about moving and healthy eating and those type of things virtually, but we did the best we could. We did a lot of virtual programming with that, and they got a lot of training and education on how to properly do virtual programming. With our Boys and Girls Club programs, even our youth programs for the core, we adapted. We did a lot of virtual Quarterdet lessons and things of that nature. So we did the best with the circumstances, considering the circumstances with the way COVID.
And utilizing some of the social media things that the kids were already using. So our club staff, they started using the like TikTok app. So they were making 1-minute video clips of engaging with the kids, whether it was the healthy food or, okay, let's get moving, here's a challenge for you today. Using those TikTok, Instagram, wherever we knew the kids were already, we went there. And so utilizing those kind of aspects as well. So.
You know, I truly believe that one of the ways that we get to minister to our communities in 2020 is by keeping them safe and really providing all kinds of opportunities to stay safe even in the midst of all the craziness around us. And that includes our clients, our staff, everyone really around us. And so we started an online Bible study that allowed people to still come to Bible study, but do that in the comfort of their homes.
That's right. All the programs that we were able to transition to virtual, we did programs like Teen Fellowship, Core Cadets, Young Adults, Ministry to Women, Sunday service. We did that. And so, just to name a few, and we tried to have the worship services in the parking lot, but due to an increase of cases in our community, we had to go back to virtual. But the ladies, Ministry to Women, they were able to meet in the parking lot for a couple of weeks now, and we're doing a tailgate kind of thing.
And our social services also had to adapt to the new reality that we live in, and so we had to take a lot of precautions. A lot of changes were done to our programs to be able to still provide the help, but in a different way.
So like many other Corps, we've had to change the way in which we provide outreach opportunities for our soldiers. One way that we have been able to engage our soldiers is we've implemented this program called Pop Drop. Pop Drop is where we take our canteen out to housing complexes within our city, and our Corps Cadet Brigade and soldiers and other volunteers go around, and we're sharing the gospel, we're distributing popsicles, and distributing back to school supplies, and meeting people's needs where they're at, and also making sure that they're continuing to stay engaged with the Corps by providing them with church in the box type activities as well.
We've also had the opportunity to provide a service to our community through our community center program, in that we've been able to extend our day camp program to include a virtual learning lab for those kids who are in school and who need a place to go while their parents are working in order to complete their classes and their assignments, and to be online in their Zoom meetings for their classes. So we've been able to open our community center for a virtual learning lab. So we have about 40 kids in that program, and they're able to come to our building. We feed them 2 meals a day, including snacks. And they also are able to be online in their Zoom classes at their appointed times, completing their assignments, and their parents don't have to worry about if they're getting that done or if they're able to provide a safe place for them to do that. So we've been so blessed to be able to provide that service through our core community center to our community.
So the way ministry adapted was very interesting for all of the programs, just put it that way. The first thing we had to learn or to adapt to was using technology. I had never in my life even thought about using any broadcasting systems or anything to put together a proper online streaming program for any of our programs. So we had to learn and educate ourselves on those aspects, as well as looking at our programs and seeing what do we want to keep and what we don't want to keep, and some of the things of that nature. One of the things that I think worked really, really well was the adult programs, our men's and women's ministries and our Bible study. Those things took off and skyrocketed. There's a lot of people who normally would not attend the evening programs at the core because of, one, the distance of the drive, or they don't like driving at night, or things of that nature played an effect. And they were like, oh, I get to sit at home and still participate. I love it. So those things worked, and those things helped a lot, especially the streaming services helped a lot. And it was, and especially when we used Teams and Skype, our congregation thought it was a wonderful thing to do because they still could see each other and interact with each other and joke, and they just couldn't physically be in the same room with each other. So that was a benefit for us. Having to, I don't know if we really scrapped anything. We pretty much adjusted everything, maybe.
Yeah. One thing I would say that we changed was the way we did our social services, and even with our youth programs, because we tried to give a variety of ways for folks to reach the programs we're doing. So we did the virtual, but we also did church in a box. So like if we were doing a virtual program, we had supplies for either the youth program or for the adults. We would have them pick it up. And so we did some drive-throughs for food access also. So tying in our worship service with our social services and our Boys and Girls Club, I think it was just another way to tie all those programs together. So we would offer drive-throughs at first every other week, and then moved to once a month, and just giving those supplies. So they would have food, they would have the different list of programs that we had going on, and then some activity kits to do either at home or along with us for our programs. So that was one thing we adjusted that went well too. I think for the most part, most of the things during the time where we were shut down, that really was effective, and folks really responded well to it.
Well, this has been definitely one of the toughest times to do ministry to our community. However, it has been very fulfilling. It has been a great blessing to watch and see God's power at work, and it's been very evident. We have been able to be involved more digitally, and this has allowed us to cast a wider net. We have had a lot of programs online, and so a lot of people from all over the world, really, not just our country here, has able to join us online. And we've had people from California join us in our weekly programs, such as Bible study. So it has been a really great opportunity for us.
Yeah, also in our shelter, we've been able to reach the people that we don't usually get to do that. And so we've been able to offer worship service to them. And so while we do all of that online, they've been able to be engaged with the core. And so that's been a huge blessing. And we've had 5-6 people from the shelter join us on weekly programs.
Yes, and the lack of in-person fellowship has definitely been a struggle. We love our people and we miss them. They miss the fellowship, but a balance between keeping them safe and providing opportunities for fellowship has been a really fine line. Of course, their safety is very important to us, but we do also provide programs that are able to give them that fellowship that they so much desire. But that has been definitely the hardest part, and the biggest struggle is the lack of in-person fellowship.
So during the 2020 year, which has flown by, we have had the opportunity to serve in 2 different appointments because we moved to Columbus in June. When COVID began, we were in Rome, Georgia. There was a lot of uncertainty with how we would do ministry, especially in our core in Rome. We were concerned about the lack of face-to-face interaction with our core people. We were able to do some things in ministry with them, including church in a box. We also would do food deliveries to their homes. We eventually were able to do outdoor services and things like that just to get more face-to-face interaction there. And then we moved to Columbus, and things kind of have been able to progress from there. We are doing in-person meetings now where we're staying safe distances apart and wearing masks and using proper sanitation and hygiene. But it's been a long road. It's held a lot of uncertainty, but we've continued to look to God and His guidance through it all, and rest in the knowledge that He's provided us the strength and the wisdom to minister in these days.
So in the future, we're hoping to blend the 2 types of ways we worship before, pre-COVID and post-COVID, I would say. We're going to try our best to continue to do some of the normal things that we would see in a normal weekly services, having in-person Bible study, having all of those things, but also adapting them into our virtual services. I have learned that I really, really like the whole online Bible study and the interactions I get with the people in the comments and things like that. So that's fun for me. So, and our congregation likes that as well. And so I think we're going to continue to blend those 2 together. But I think to go back to normal, what we used to be normal, I would say, is preposterous. I think that would be that. Yeah, I used a big word. Preposterous. I just think that would be crazy to go back to that because we've gotten so far out of our 4 walls and we've reached a lot of people. The things with social media and the other things we've done within the community has stretched far and wide longer than we would ever imagine if we would have stayed in our building doing the normal things that we do every day. So a blend of the 2. Continue to stream our worship services, even though they're in person. Continuing to stream our Bible studies. Continue to do drive-throughs with the social services. Figure out ways to promote and to show the kids, even when they leave the Boys and Girls Club, how to do those things on virtual programming and things of that nature. So to try to blend the 2 would probably be the best marriage that we have post-COVID.
Yeah. And we would say in regards to our discipleship programs, because of all these virtual activities that's been going on, it just opened up, again, just a door for folks who normally wouldn't come into our building. It just opened up a way for them to be able to participate in our different programs. Especially, I think the biggest one is with our Bible study. For discipleship, learning, and just really growing deeper in the Word. That's just been one of the biggest programs, I think, for discipleship. And we've seen folks from various, not just even in Peachcrest community, but even outside of those areas, our zip codes even, reaching those folks and just coming in weekly, participating in that discussion and growing deeper. So we've definitely seen a lot more folks outside of our regular service area participating as well as those in our service area who share the information and jump on when they see that we're online. They jump on and participate as well regularly. So,
and I think with the discipleship, the cool thing about it is people are starting to ask questions that they wouldn't normally ask in person, because I guess they feel a little bit more comfortable behind a computer screen and a keyboard. So those things are beautiful, because at least they're actually growing in their faith by asking the questions or asking the right type of things during the several different programs. So I think our discipleship has definitely grown, and has spread vastly with the virtual programming and things.
Yeah.
I really believe there is a silver lining in all of this COVID-19 mess that's going on, and I really truly believe that this has forced us somewhat to step out of our comfort zone, and I hope that we don't return back to what it used to be. There's great things happening, and I hope that we use that to really enhance our ministry, to become better at what we do. And so I hope that we don't return to our chapels and to our four walls, because there's a great opportunity to really be the hands and feet of Jesus in our communities, and a lot of us are doing that.
We're still evaluating our programs, and we'll continue to do so, but there are so many things that we have started in 2020 that we do not want to give up. We want to continue to do so. And we will do that because we have seen the opportunity to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ in so many ways and reach a lot of people. We have been able also to accomplish our mission alignment plan, and this is really exciting that we have been able to do that in the midst of COVID-19, or dare I say, especially during this season. And we have seen discipleship as well in our core, in our shelter, in our social services. So this has been very exciting for us to witness. And that has been such an amazing experience.
So I like to look at this opportunity that we've been given through COVID-19 as a gift from God. I believe that the Salvation Army is strategically placed and communities across our country that has been forced to get back to its roots. I've talked a few weeks ago with our United Way, and I explained to them and discussed with them the donut story with the lassies going out and serving donuts during the World Wars. And this is our donut. This is our opportunity to be the hands and feet of Christ and to be the Salvation Army to our communities right now. In this new, unique way. These opportunities that we have implemented within our Corps in Columbus, and how other soldiers and officers have implemented new ideas within their corps across the great Georgia Division. I would encourage everyone to not stop what they're doing and not to add anything else to their plates, because I know we're all very busy people. However, let's continue to reach the world for Christ, because that's why we have been raised up by God as a Salvation Army. And as we do that, and as we continue to expand our programs, and even adding our traditional programming back to our schedules, I think it's very important that we keep in mind that there's folks outside of our four walls who are desperately crying out for a Savior, and how we have the tools in which we need, and which we have been gifted by God with, to reach them with. So I really think that's an awesome opportunity. In another way, I also think that as we engage our soldiers and as we engage our staff in mission, giving them the tools that they need to be able to perform the ministry that God has called them to. So as we enable them and as we give them the tools in which they need, and then we give them the resources that they need, they can reach the world as well. And let's not hold our people back. Let's encourage each other. Let's engage our young people. Let's engage the older folks within our core buildings as well, because I think everybody has been called by God to participate in the Army's ministry and mission. So forward to the fight.
I also think that as far as the discipleship portion of this has been during COVID, it's revealed to me the hunger and the need of our people to be connected with one another. it's shown that they long for God's word and fellowship of other believers in a way that I've never seen before. It's been evident that they really thrive on having that. And for us to find other ways to provide that from them has been paramount. And I believe we should continue to do that, continue to look for other avenues to reach our people and to reach them on a deeper level than we have before.
If we could give any tips or tricks or things to help during this time of COVID, I think the biggest thing is not to compare yourself with other cores and just really just focus on the community that you're serving and the needs that they have there. For us, we offered the virtual programs, but we also had folks in our community who don't necessarily have a computer or smartphone. So we had to still adapt and find ways to reach them. So we offered Teams because that had a phone call in, things like that. But we also have, for those who couldn't, we had packages and things like that already readily available for them too. So we just had to really focus on the needs of our community and our folks in our own facility to make sure that we give them the tools. And another tip I would say is YouTube is your friend. I had zero experience with editing for different videos, and since COVID, I've really tapped into learning different skills and aspects of learning technology. I am not the technological person in our family, but YouTube is our friend, and there's a lot of resources out there to really just make our programs successful. And I think, to me, I found if you can do it in your building, there's a way to adapt it to do it virtually. You just have to sit down and figure it out. We've done things like slumber parties, painting parties, lots of fun activities that you may not think that you can do outside of being physically together, but I can bet there's most activities that you can do in person, you can make to do virtually. It's just getting a little creative and thinking outside of the box, for sure.
A tip that I will give you is free.
Yes.
Free. There's a lot of things that look really nice and work very well that are free. One of them being a software called OBS. If you go on Google OBS and download that software, use that software. And to learn how to use it, go to YouTube, because they'll tell you everything you need to learn how to do. And it's simple to do, and it allows you to stream all of your services and things very seamlessly. And it's free, completely free. No credit card information, nothing, just free. Another thing that I like to use, there's software that you can, so much software on the internet that if you just put free in front of it and put that in there, it'll pop up. There's a lot of things that we did and a lot of things that we are going to continue to do that we don't have to use a lot of money and things for, and it's so fun, and things that you just have around the house that we do. Most of the games and things we do with our Bibles and our kids programs and things like that are stuff that's in our house. We just figure out a way to do it where you can play it at home. So just don't stress yourself out. I don't have the money or the resources. I use my phone as my camera. So there's things like that you can use that you already have that you can get for free. So you don't have to stress yourself out about spending a lot of money to make things look very well.
Yeah, most of our programs that we offered, whatever kind of programs we did, we hardly spent any money going out, I would say. A lot of the prizes or games, it all came from the supplies of things that we had hidden. We actually got to deep clean closets and find lots of things. If we did art classes with the kids, I figured out crafts that went along with what we had, the supplies we had. And so there's a lot of resources out there. Pinterest, in regards to editing videos, like he said, iMovie or KineMaster, there's tons of free resources out there to adapt your programs.
So free is your best friend.
Yes.
It's easy on your budget.
Absolutely.
I would say do what works for you, for your core, for your community. Don't fall into the temptation of looking around and seeing what everyone else is doing and try to do just like that, because it's not going to work everywhere. It's not going to work for everyone. Comparison will steal your joy and will make you frustrated. It'll make you just pull your hair out. And so do what works for you, for your community, for your staff, for your church. And the reality is that every community is handling this differently and is being affected differently by everything that's going on around us. And so it would be foolish for us to even think that ministry is going to look the same in every community around us. And so just be intentional in loving your people, in loving your community, in serving your community, but do that in a way that works for you, for your community, for your local setting, and give yourself grace, give your people grace, give your community grace. Unfortunately, there's no manual on how to handle this COVID-19 situation, and we're writing that as we go every day. And so just be gracious to you and to your people.
One thing I would say as far as ministering during COVID is never fall into the trap of thinking you're not doing enough or you're not doing the right thing. I know for me it's something I've struggled with in having a lot of guilt and feeling like I wasn't doing what I should be doing. But God reassured me that what I am doing and what I am able to do means a whole lot in His kingdom. And so I would encourage others to not fall into the trap of self-doubt and guilt, but to rest in our Creator, the one who has placed us in these times and the one who is guiding us, and just rely on His strength during these times.
Another tip that I would like to suggest would be that we have chapels and soldiers' rolls full of names that have signed covenants to be Salvation Army soldiers, adherents, recruits, junior soldiers, corps cadets. Let's not forget those people, and let's not forget that they are to be engaged in ministry just as much as our officers are. One thing within our 12 years of being officers thus far is that we are committed to putting our soldiers out into the battlefield and making sure that as they're out ministering in Jesus' name, that they're being encouraged by their leaders. And as soldiers, they need encouragement. So officers, folks who are in leadership, make sure that you're encouraging your people and providing them with opportunities such as going to a neighborhood with popsicles. How simple is that? $5, pile some folks in a minivan, wear your mask, get you some hand sanitizer, whatever you want to do, and just go out and be the hands and feet of Christ, and making sure that you're demonstrating the love of Christ in real practical ways.